California. Peter, good afternoon. How are you today, pal?
Hey, Chris, good. Hey, I got an idea for you with Grant. So when the Kings get to like 25 wins, maybe, you figure out a way to come out here and do a remote. I work across the street from Golden One Arena.
I hear that's a great arena, right? Great arena.
It's great. It's even better for concerts than games. It's fantastic. And then, yeah, like your two Sacramento listeners, me and Paul, we can meet you for a vodka tonic. And you do you witnessed your 27th win.
I need a 28th win. We have to look at the Sacramento schedule. Who do they play the last 2-3 games?
I don't know.
Well, we got to look who they play. Eddie, could you look that up for me, please? See if they get the 27.5.
It may come.
It may what, Pete? I lost that. What'd you say?
A KMBR like you always do, and then pop up to Sacramento.
I could do that. I mean, that's not a terrible idea. We can hang out with Grant, and we can have some laughs. Well, look at those last 2 games, Pete. You and Paul can take me out to dinner. We can break down the hedge fund groups in San Jose, and we can have some laughs with the Kings. Who they play the last couple games of the year?
So they're on a road trip, actually, and then they close at home Rockets.
That's not good. What's the road trip prior to that?
Yeah, they got 4 on the road prior. So they're at the Lakers, at Suns, at Memphis, and then at San Antonio.
Oh, God.
Boy, I hope you don't need that last one going in.
Last 2 games, the Spurs and the Rockets.
Jeez.
Oh, my
Hopefully
goodness.
they have everything locked up.
Well, who do they play prior to that road trip? Lakers and Phoenix.
Okay, I'll give you their...
Give me a game in early April. Go ahead.
So early... Oh, that is April. April 1st was at Lakers.
No, the game before that.
They're at home for Golden State.
No, what day of the week is that?
That's a Saturday.
All right, give me a weekday game, and we can do a show out there. Let me hear.
Okay, I'll give you their week leading up before their road trip. So they're home for, this is Monday, March 19th, home for the Pistons.
All right.
That Thursday, home for the Hawks.
All right.
Sunday, home for the Celtics.
All right.
Home for the Mavericks.
Long homestand.
And home for the Pacers, and then they close it up home with the Warriors.
Well, all right. So, that week then, Dallas and Indiana. That's where we need to go. They can win those 2 games. We need to go to Dallas and Indiana.
That's a Tuesday, Thursday.
Tuesday, Thursday.
March 27th, March 29th.
There you go. That's perfect time. That's right before the Final Four weekend. Now, that's right where baseball begins. That's the one negative. But that is the week we'll go. We'll join Pete. We'll have some fun. Here's Al in Florida. He's with us here on Mad Dog Unleashed. Alfred, good afternoon. How are you today? What do you have?
How are you, sir? Merry Christmas to one and all, and also Happy Hanukkah. Who else celebrates? 2 things.
That's right. Make a whole trip of it.
Yeah, I think Tampa Bay Rays are going down the way of the Miami Marlins.
Okay.
After trading Langlois to your Giants. You're going to love him at third base.
Well, he's a good defensive player. I think he hit just enough. I think for this first year and a half, it's a good move. I agree. Go ahead.
Dog, he's better than anything you've had for a while. He's better than that fat kid Sandoval, whoever he was.
Yeah, Sandoval.
Come on, let's be honest.
I agree. It's for 1 year.
Let me tell you something. He's no Cleat Boyer. He's no Kenny Boyer. But he'll do for what you got.
Yeah, I agree with that. I'm with you on that.
What Tampa is doing, they're owned by a real estate mogul up here in New York City. He's basically ruining the baseball team, saying that, oh, how wonderful they are. You know what? There's a team in Wilkes-Barre, Scranton called the Rail Riders. They're the Yankees farm system in the International Baseball League.
Right.
They could beat both the Tampa Bay Rays and the Marlins from Miami. The Yankees are ready. They got a Christmas gift with Stanton.
Right.
Next guy coming is Machado.
Well, we understand that. It's not about the Yankees, but I don't know how you can blame Sternberg. He's the real estate guy that you're referring to who owns the team. I mean, they do their best to put together a decent ball club every year, and nobody shows up in that god-awful facility there in St. Petersburg. I don't know exactly what you want him to do with the team. Now, again, I know they don't get a $150 million payroll. They have about a $70, $80, $90 million payroll. They lose a ton of money. I can't sit there and blame the owner when they have tried to do it the proper way, farm system. They've gotten to a World Series, which is a miracle, and the facility is awful, and the fan base doesn't seem to care. That's not Sternberg's fault, to be honest with you. Mark in Maryland, and he says hello. Mark, it's your turn. How are you today, pal? What's going on?
Hey, Chris, I was enjoying those top fives you were doing at the end yesterday, with the NBA.
Right, I enjoyed that. And that was a good call by, it may have been DJ. I'm a little harsh with Shaq. Shaq's got to be ahead of Baylor. So we'll go Shaq 5. We will go, I forget the order I had it in. I had Magic 1, West 2, Kareem 3, Kobe 4, Shaq 5. Let's go that way. Go ahead.
Yeah, so anyway, Earl Monroe was like my favorite player when I was growing up in the 70s and 60s there, and he really had his best years with the Bullets. And, when they traded him to the Knicks, that was it for me. I never rooted for the Bullets again after that. I became a Knicks fan for a while. And then later on I jumped over to Boston because of Johnny Most on the radio. But I really think Monroe had his better years with the Bullets.
Oh, he did. Absolutely. And that was a trade that the Knicks made. They traded Nate Bowman and Dave Stallworth and Mike Reardon. I mean, they made a major move to get the Pearl. Everybody thought that Monroe and Clyde would not work together well. They did. They helped to win that second championship. But the heyday of Monroe is what Mark said. The heyday of Monroe is basically between late 60s and early 70s,
right,
when he was with the Baltimore Bullets, not the Washington Bullets, the Baltimore Bullets, with that great team that had Gus Johnson and Unseld and people like that. That was the heyday. Unseld came in 68, 69. That was the heyday of the Bullets. You're 1,000% correct. Go ahead. What else?
Yeah, and as far as the Knicks go on your top five, I would have think Willis would be number one, because, there's no championships without him. I would think it's like Willis and then Clyde and then DeBusschere.
No. You got to put Ewing ahead of DeBusschere, Mark. Willis goes one. Spiritually, he's one. See, that's the thing. Willis with the busted hip, the 2 jump shots against L.A., or the whatever he had, the stomach muscle pull in Game 7, the MVP. Willis would be number one, just from an emotional standpoint and what he means to the franchise. I put Clyde 2, and I would put Ewing 3. That's what I would do. Now, people would put Ewing a little higher than that. That's how I would handle it. Dan in Boston says hello. Danny, good afternoon. How are you today, pal?
Hey, Mad Dog. I was wondering if you wanted to hear any more insight on the Patriots.
Well, if you got it on Guerrero, I'll listen. Go ahead. Let me hear.
Well, the riff, like you said, is he still has an office in the facility. However, Brady's the only one that can be treated in there. So anybody else who is being treated by him now has to go across the street to his office in Patriot Place.
Yeah, that's not fair. That's not fair.
Well, the other thing now, Gronk used him. So now that he's not treating them in the facility, he's billing the Patriots back for any work done on players across the street. So there's that riff. Guerrero is not liked in the building.
Well, how about the idea that he's trying to sell you a drink that prevents concussions? That's not exactly.
That's a lot of the problem. He's trying to tell a licensed medical staff who practices science how to do their job, and he's got really no degree. So that's where the rift is coming from in the building. He is trying to circumvent, true
medical
Western
folks.
medicine.
Yes, I got it.
And a lot of this, I think, what I hear in the building is after Belichick wanted to keep Garoppolo, and Kraft didn't want to upset Brady. So when they kind of forced Belichick's hand to get rid of Garoppolo, that's when that was the last straw, and he's now kind of almost, like a back and forth thing. Now that I had to trade Garoppolo, he's now really, speeding up the process and getting Guerrero out of there. But it's a mess.
I'm not sure if I buy that one because they could have kept Garoppolo sitting there forever, because he wasn't going to supplant Brady anyway. I mean, I'm not sure if I buy that one. He could have just kept him there and traded him at the end of the season for a higher pick. I'll tell you right now, though, now you know why he's good. He is going to be. He reminds me of Montana. He is going to be. And it's only 3-4 games, but boy, oh boy, how can you not be impressed? As the Titans said last week, the Niners found their quarterback. 9 in front of the hour. Mad Dog Unleashed. Good to say hello, and he's Derek in Chicago. Derek, good afternoon. How are you today, pal?
Great, Doug. Also, to piggyback on the Guerrero thing, he not only claimed to cure concussions, but he falsified some clinical trials saying he could cure cancer with some of his supplements. I think his other problem, too, was it's fine if Brady wants to believe you, Brady gets a pass, but the other players were getting on board, and that created a big rift with the medical and training staff.
Now, I understand then the Patriots did the right thing. No argument. Go ahead.
I think the other interesting thing to watch this week with the Bills game is to see how buttoned up the Bills are with their coach. He kind of shot him in the foot on the playoff race when he did the Peterman experiment.
Well, I don't think that was him. I heard that may have been ownership that wanted to see Peterman play, and that was not McDermott. So that would explain why the team did not give up on the head coach, because he got Taylor right back in there. So he must have he must have told Taylor, Tyrod, there's nothing I can do. This is what we're going to do here. I have orders. I have bosses too. And so that probably explained that. I don't blame that so much on McDermott. Go ahead. Continue.
We'll see. The players are saying the right thing as far as the Gronkowski retaliation. So we'll see when the game's on the line if they can keep their cool and stay with the discipline, or if they don't really care and wind up trying to get retaliation, even if it costs the team.
Well, we've gone through this all week. The Bills have a chance. You know, if the Bills split, they got a good chance to make the playoffs because of the idea that you got to figure Tennessee playing the Rams and the Jaguars. Now, the Jaguars are not going to probably need – who knows if the Jaguars are going to need the game? And we don't know what's going to happen this week. But you have to figure that when you think about it, that there's a good chance Tennessee splits. And if Tennessee splits and Buffalo wins a couple games, well, you got an opportunity here to be in the postseason. Remember, Buffalo, Tennessee, they win a tiebreaker because Buffalo's got a better common opponent record than the Titans do. The only thing that kills the Bills if they split is if Tennessee loses both, because Buffalo does not go head-to-head well with San Diego or the Chargers. They do go well in a three-way tie, and they go well with a two-way tie with Tennessee. What would kill Buffalo is they split, Tennessee splits, and the Chargers win 2. If that happened, then that would be okay too. The only thing that would hurt Buffalo is if they split, Tennessee loses twice, and the Chargers win 2. That would kill him. That would knock him out. Here's Preacher Ray. He's in Kentucky, and he says hello. Preacher, good afternoon. How are you today?
I'm good, Chris. Merry Christmas. I don't know if you caught it or got any wind of it, but Dan Levitard from ESPN was on Outside the Lines today doing an interview about the Marlins situation and Derek Jeter.
Right.
And he was making some kind of accusation that there might be some kind of conspiracy between the Marlins organization and Jeter with the commissioner of baseball.
He's wrong on that. I mean, I did know he had Manfred on, and he got all over Manfred, but that's completely wrong. There is no conspiracy. Listen, I'm not trying to knock Danny. Dan can say what he wants, but as far as I know, Dan is not a baseball expert, and that market has done a horrendous job with their team. It's hard to kill Jeter left and right if you're a Marlin fan when there aren't any fans. It is hard to do that. You got to be fair. It's hard to do it. 5 o'clock an hour. Stick with us.